I mean, listen, we're talking about practice.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Hello? You play to win the game.
I am very excited to talk about sports!
Hey everybody, Nick here with the Wednesday Night Sports Podcast. It's been too long, but yeah, we're back, and I'm joined live, cannot believe I'm saying this, with my co-host, the Hickory Smoked Bacon Man himself, Logan. How's it going, Logan?
I am very excited to be here live from the Richmond Coliseum recording the podcast tonight.
Studio Lake House, not a studio apartment. But yeah, with the end of the NBA Conference Finals, we're going to be talking about the NBA Finals playoffs. We're talking playoffs.
We can't even win a game.
So what are your thoughts on? Oh man, this is just too weird. Us doing this live
because we're huddled around this mic.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the playoffs, or what is culminized into the 2019 NBA playoffs with the Golden State Warriors versus the Toronto Raptors?
First off, I'm very surprised that the Raptors beat the Bucks in 6. I expected the Bucks to win in 7, and if the Raptors were to win, I expected it in 7. I'm just very shocked the way they kind of manhandled them. It's just surprising.
Are you surprised with the way that everything went down in terms of the path that Toronto went down, as well as the path that Golden State went down?
No, not at all. I think we both expected the Bucks to be in the conference finals. We just didn't know if the Raptors would make it or not. The Warriors, I feel like that was the easy pick.
Yeah, and what was surprising was that the Warriors were able to come back from double-digit deficits 3 games in a row and sweep the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, it could have been easily a 3-1 lead for the Trailblazers if not blowing games 2, 3, and 4.
Right. So, anyways, we can't change the past. We are here, and if I'm not mistaken, didn't the Raptors have like a 2-0 series wins over the Warriors in the regular season?
They might have. I'm not sure. Vegas has this series being closer than last year's Cleveland and Golden State series last year. And even some bookmakers in Vegas are actually giving the Raptors the favor, which is kind of odd. I figured they would be a pretty big underdog, but I guess the way Kawhi Leonard's playing right now, he's just playing unstoppable. They can't guard him.
Right. Do you think they'll put Durant? No. They can't put Durant on him for Game 1 because Durant will be in there.
There's a better chance of DeMarcus Cousins playing Game 1 than Kevin Durant.
So who do they put on Leonard?
I guess Draymond's going to have to play him, I would think.
Yeah.
Or Iguodala. Iguodala's a pretty good defender, too.
But Iguodala is injured, right?
He is. I don't know if I think he's like a game-time decision.
How? Okay, and I only know this because of that urinating tree guy. I was watching, how it came to be with the finals and how the Trailblazers lost to a seriously injured Warriors squad. And now they're still injured with a week's rest, but I think the Raptors can overcome it. Mm-hmm. And I think we're looking at Raps in 6.
I got the Warriors in 5. And I just say that. My heart says Raptors in 7, but my head says Warriors in 5.
how embarrassing would it be if the Warriors won in either 4 or 5? At that point, just end the entire fucking NBA. There's no point in going on.
I think just the biggest thing at this point is if the Warriors dominate, what the hell is going to happen in free agency? It was just announced today that the Rockets are they have their whole team on the trade market.
Yeah.
I assume the reason they're doing that, kind of jumping off topic, is probably because they're trying to get help with Harden because Chris Paul's kind of hitting his ceiling as far as age. He's not going to get any better. I think they're trying to free up cap space by getting rid of Paul, if anybody will take that crazy contract.
Plus, he always looks like his pants are falling down.
Right,
He's coming down the half court.
But I just wonder if they're trying to free up some cap space to go after a free agent like Kawhi Leonard to go alongside Harden or a Kyrie Irving or something.
But if Leonard wins in Toronto this year,
he can't leave.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Now, and then the funny thing is, the opposite thing is, with Golden State, people are saying that Durant's going to leave, even if they win a championship.
Where would Durant go?
I don't know. Yeah, there's so many rumors.
New Orleans? He's going to New Orleans?
I don't know. I guess maybe the rumor is he kind of wants to prove that he doesn't have to have those guys. But if he's just going to go and team up with Kyrie, what's the... I mean...
Where would they go? New York?
I guess. Why would you want to go live in New York? What a shitty city.
Are we going on a New York shoot again? I'm all for it. It's all like the microphone is yours, Logan.
So we're going Saturday to GCW at Atlantic City. And I have this giant fear that this has just been a giant swerve. And Nick's just going to take me back to Times Square and just drop me off of Hispanic Deadpool.
That thought never actually crossed my mind, but now it might have to happen. But I have to fear with Sinjini in the car that she would get very upset if we actually went to New York.
Yeah, and I don't think you want to drive there either.
No, I have no intentions of going to New York City.
Ever again.
I'm surprised I'm going to Atlantic City.
Yeah, it's not very nice itself, but
Let's just go to Outer Banks.
Yeah, but we have to sacrifice ourselves for Tournament of Survival.
Yeah, that's true. And it's better than Tournament of Death.
It's a big deal.
But yeah, Raps in 6,
and
Warriors in 5.
And I guess if the Warriors win, Curry's probably the MVP with Durant out, and if the Raptors win, it's probably Kawhi Leonard.
Curry still doesn't win a Finals MVP.
Draymond ends up getting Andrew Bogut.
Oh no!
Or it's just some random guy off the bench.
Looney. It's Looney.
Yeah.
Anything else NBA you want to talk about? Knee-jerk reactions?
Did we hit on the lottery the other week, I think, and we didn't record it.
Yeah, I didn't actually record that. If you want to talk about that.
My biggest takeaway was the teams with the worst records didn't get like the number 1 and number 2 picks.
Karma's a fucking bitch. You tank and you don't fucking get it.
And the Hornets were like one spot away from moving into the top 5. What could have been? Yeah, the Pelicans. I kind of feel bad for Zion because I don't think New Orleans is a very good city either. I know everybody's like, New Orleans, it's so awesome. I've been twice and it sucked both times.
Yeah. I've only been once, so I don't plan on going back.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I'm okay with Zion going to New Orleans. Seems like he's okay with going to New Orleans. You send AD to New York, you get RJ Barrett, the number 3.
And the Grizzlies are really sitting in a good spot at 2 with they're gonna get Morant or Murray State dude. That's
Taylor's
yeah.
college. Shout out to Sexy Chucky T.
That's gonna help them a lot with them losing Mike Conley in the off season.
Just think about that. A guy coming from a mid-major nobody talking about him in terms of being drafted. Then suddenly he just comes up, and they're like, you know what? He should go number 2, right behind Zion.
Yeah, I don't think there's been a situation like that. The only thing that comes to mind to me was C.J. McCollum for the Trailblazers, but he still wasn't a top 5 pick. They picked him in the middle of the first round. I can't think of anybody that quick that jumped up in the draft.
I was reading the most recent mock draft that had actually DeAndre Hunter at number 4.
I can see that.
Yeah?
I can see that. Who is in the 4 spot?
Lakers.
He would be a good fit with LeBron.
But he's a number 4, though.
LeBron literally can play like whatever.
Yeah.
He can play 3, 4, 5. He can be your point guard if you want him to.
He brings it in as if he is the PG anyways.
As you see in the NBA 2K games, like they always make LeBron bring the ball up.
Right. So, one guy that I'm surprised nobody's really talking about, but has gotten a lot of press in the Combine. Do you know who I'm about to say?
Your man Kyle Guy?
Yes!
And it's crazy because, like, in every mock draft I look, like, if he's not going late second round, there's some drafts where they don't even have him on the board.
Yeah, that's disappointing. And, like, he's done a phenomenal job in the Combine.
Is it because, and I hate to bring this up, is it because he's a white guard?
That wears FUBU?
Yeah.
It's probably it.
Because historically, any white guard that's came out in the draft, if they were drafted high, they usually don't pan out, like Jimmer Fredette but I feel like Kyle Guy has a wider range of skills than Fredette. Fredette was just like a shooter. Like there wasn't much more to his game.
Yeah, and he's a good leader. Kyle Guy is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully he lands on his feet, and if he doesn't get drafted, he goes to Europe and makes that money for his.
Or China.
Oh yeah, you could always go to China.
Shinnecoin basketball, Japan.
Play for the Tiger Sharks or the Bears, Shenchuan Bears.
Yeah, that team that Stephon Marbury played for like a decade after the NBA.
Yeah. You know what we could talk about, though, is favorite NBA final moments.
Oh, man, I wish I could have researched this. Right off the top of my head, Cavs coming back from 3-1.
I agree.
That was probably the NBA finals of my lifetime that, I don't know, like, you felt great for the city of Cleveland, and they were taking down a team everybody hated.
Yeah. Do people still hate the Warriors as much as they did in 2016? Do you think they hate them more because of Durant?
I feel like Durant intensified it because there were still bandwagoners then. But I feel like during the 3-1 comeback, we saw a heel LeBron because a lot of people hated him after he formed the Big Three and went back to Cleveland. I mean, they hated him from the formation of the Big Three all the way out till then. I feel like that was his face turn NBA-wise. Like, I feel more people became LeBron fans because they respected that he could do that with Cleveland.
But why do they hate that Big Three when they had the Big Three before with Boston, with Garnett, Pierce, and Allen?
I don't know. LeBron, he's always been that thing where you either love him or you hate him. You either love them or you hate them.
We're interacting with studio audience members.
Yeah. Me personally, the Big Three I hated the most was the Boston Celtics Big Three.
Oh, absolutely.
I hated Kevin Durant.
Yeah. You mean Garnett?
What did I say?
Durant.
Well, when Durant played with the Celtics in 2009.
Yeah.
No. Kevin Garnett. I couldn't stand him. I remember he called Charlie Villanueva a cancer patient because he had no eyebrows.
I always thought he looked like Don Vito. Now he just needs a dress on and he's good.
And then I never have cared for Paul Pierce.
Oh yeah, Paul Pierce is an idiot.
And actually, I don't didn't mind Ray Allen, to be honest, but I didn't care for Rajon Rondo.
Oh yeah.
Ray Allen I was always cool with, actually.
And then Ray Allen ended up winning a title with LeBron in Miami.
And the Celtics have not talked to him since. Like, Garnett and Paul Pierce has held that against Ray Allen for leaving.
I think I saw like a special on that. Like, they were like like a round table.
Yeah, because they had like a championship celebration reunion, and everybody was there but Ray Allen. They didn't even invite him.
Not surprising.
And he did the smart thing, though. Boston had hit their window of championships, and Miami had them beat at that time.
Was Garnett and Pierce already at Brooklyn at this point?
No, because Miami had to beat them one more time because Ray Allen beat them in the playoffs. And then the year after, they did that swap to Brooklyn, which at the time, everybody said that Brooklyn got robbed and the Celtics were going to win several championships with this trade. But now you look at the opposite. Brooklyn looks like they got a better upside in the future compared to Boston.
Right. So back to favorite NBA finals. For me, I really liked, the
Spurs and the Pistons.
No. Hell no. What are you doing? Growling at me for?
It's cats, guys. He's not talking to me. That probably sounded funny from the other side.
Clawing his way up the wall. Jesus Christ. What the fuck are y'all smoking? 2006 NBA Finals. The Heat coming back 2-0 against the Mavs with that fantastic Game 3 shot from Dwayne Wade. And then just won 4 straight.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, there was kind of some motivation. There's the backstory of going into Game 3, Dallas was already planning their parade route, and that kind of gave extra motivation to Miami. I don't know if you've heard that story.
No, I hadn't.
So, there's some motivation. And then obviously they had a rematch a few years later, and Dirk just went off. That was a crazy series as well. I didn't expect Dallas to win that. I'm just going through some stuff off the top of my head. Allen Iverson over Tyrone Lue, and then stepping over him. Jordan's game-winning shot in his final game as a Bull. Obviously, he came back with the Wizards.
With the flu.
Yeah. Supposedly.
Yeah.
Food poisoning, probably, or hungover.
Or he was gambling too much the night before.
Yeah. I feel like there weren't many good NBA finals as a kid, but they were better the older I got. Like I don't know, like in the 90s, like the only thing I can really remember is the Jordan shot over the Jazz, and then after that I just remember like the Spurs won and then the Lakers went on their three-peat, and like they felt like all those series were dominated. Like there really weren't any close series up until I guess the Pistons and the Spurs. Yeah. And then the next good one was probably the Mavs and the Heat. That was a very competitive series, even though they won in 5 games. Six. All those games were close.
Right.
And then you had your Lakers and Celtics championship series after that. No, you had what came first, the Lakers and the Magic?
Lakers, Celtics, 2008.
And then
Lakers,
they rematched because the Lakers
in
repeated.
2009, and then Lakers, Celts in 2010.
Yeah,
which went 7, which was fantastic. I was in LA at the time, and I was actually there with Brad as well. And there were riots in LA because the Lakers won. Yeah,
that not riot-wise, kind of off topic, but kind of in topic. When the Detroit Red Wings won the Stanley Cup in '97, I was up there, and I've never seen anything like that since. Like, people were, like, running in the streets, and, like, people were, like, just in the intersection, like, waving giant flags and stuff. Like, it was crazy.
Was it on the magnitude of what happened with Philadelphia beating
probably
New England?
At this time, the Red Wings hadn't won the Stanley Cup since the 50s.
So this is when they became Russian agents?
Yeah, this is when they had the Russian 5, and they won 4 cups in like 10 years.
Damn. But there's more parity in hockey, right?
Yeah, at that time I feel like they didn't have a salary cap, so my Red Wings kind of took advantage of that and like signed everybody. Since the salary cap's been instituted, I think we've won 1 cup. So,
but one series that wasn't a good memory for me was the Pistons going over the Lakers in 2004. That was the end of an era with Kobe and Shaq.
Do you feel they gave up too quick after that? Or was it time? Because
I think it was time, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
With the way that it ended. Like, I think that with the Warriors, they'll just kind of fade away. You know what I mean?
They're just going to slowly break up, I think.
Yeah.
Starting with Durant, most likely.
Right. Which wouldn't have happened if Cavaliers hadn't come back.
Right. Draymond went crying in the parking lot and called Durant.
Yeah. Why didn't they talk about tampering then?
Technically, it should be. But you got to protect those Warriors for ratings. Right.
Which surprising. In 2019, we're talking about how the league is protecting the Warriors.
Now, is this gonna be one of the lowest rated NBA finals of all time? And I say that because you do have the must-see Warriors, but the Raptors in Canada, obviously, it's going to get good ratings. But in the United States, do that many people care about the Raptors?
I think the only
people are going to watch regardless. It's going to be way better than WWE Raw ratings. But
do you think the ratings are going to be better than Spurs Pistons?
Yes. It's not going to be. But I guess what I'm saying is there's no way it's going to be close to LeBron versus the Warriors.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be the lowest rated in recent memory because LeBron has been in the last 9 finals?
8 finals.
8 finals.
Yeah.
And then even before then, you had the Lakers going against the Celtics, 2 big market teams. It's probably going to be the lowest rated since the Lakers and the Magic. That's a good equivalent, I would say. Because nobody really cared about Dwight Howard and the Magic. Unless you were an Orlando fan.
Well, how bad was Thunder Heat?
That was actually very good ratings because a lot of people cared about Durant and Westbrook and Harden against the that was at that time I think it held like grabbed the ratings record, but it's just been smashed over the last few years.
Yeah, because of fucking Cavs and Warriors 4 times in a row.
Need some help in the East, guys. We need some East Coast supremacy here.
Yeah.
And it's not helping with the draft lottery because now you got Zion going west, even though the Pelicans really aren't in the West. It's kind of like the Memphis Grizzlies being in the Western Conference. That doesn't make any sense.
Should we have a conference alignment again?
Probably.
We can talk about XFL if you want.
Some news came out here recently, but I can't remember what it was.
Los Angeles' coach?
No, something else.
Houston's coach?
No, it wasn't coach related. It was something a day or two ago. I saw it on Twitter, but I don't remember what it was.
Not doing drug testing?
Is that a thing that came out?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, there's some breaking XFL news for us. There's going to be no drug testing, which should allow for Johnny Manziel.
But I was going to say, but he signed to the Express, but at the same time, the Express don't exist. I'm still in the world where AAF still exists, so excuse me.
How do you think they're going to do the XFL? Do you think they're going to do similar to AAF with like college allegiances and you got to be around there, or you think they're just going to just draft?
I think the AAF comes back and
invades,
and then the WrestleMania, the ship. You remember the ship?
Yeah.
It's going to be XFL versus the AAF.
There's going to be no wrestling. It's just going to be football players wrestling at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
You want to start shooting the shit?
Yeah. I guess Wednesday night mailbag time.
All right. Wednesday night mailbag. Alex, give us some questions.
Questions, Alex?
Alex! Questions? Rico? Questions? Bowser?
And it looks like we have a question from Dreams. It says on Twitter, what tough you doing under the post then? What the fuck are you talking about, Dreams? What does this mean? No, okay, so here's what happened. So on Twitter, on Monday night, before Monday Night Raw, WWE announced that they were going to be doing a Fatal 4-Way with Braun Strowman versus The Miz versus AJ Styles versus somebody else. I can't remember. And I just put on there, nah, I'm good, and put a Cody Rhodes gif. If you're not familiar with this, Cody Rhodes was a wrestler in the WWE that defected to start his own company with the help of Jacksonville Jaguars owner Shaka Khan. Ain't nobody. And they have just got a deal with TNT to do a major wrestling promotion and had a pay-per-view over the weekend. So anyway, I put, nah, I'm good, and put the Cody Rhodes gif. Well, anyway, like, for WWE... Well, first off, let me say that over 100 people liked the post and only 4 people had a negative reaction to it. And they were all butthurt. And this one really was butthurt because, like, I posted back a gif of Joey Janela just, like, coming out and doing his entrance. And she's just like, you still didn't answer my question, though. And I'm like, what kind of pizza dough you talking about? I didn't actually say that, but I think I just kept posting gifs and stuff. But anyway, I just want to say, Dreams, I hope you enjoyed your Fatal 4-Way that they added Baron Corbin to, that AJ Styles wasn't even in, and he was the best wrestler that was supposed to be in the match. There you go. Now you got Baron Corbin wrestling at Saudi Arabia. What do you think about that, Alex?
No, do not hit that.
I don't know what questions to ask.
Give us a question about WWE. Be louder.
Or any question. Any question.
I don't know.
It doesn't have to be related to NFL, XFL. Can just be whatever your mind is thinking about right now.
Okay, so is this part going to be cut out?
It don't have to be sports. It'll probably be edited a little bit.
Well, it have to be edited a fuck ton. Shit, I don't know. What would you guys consider the best wrestling matches of the WWE or indie wrestling, and what would you consider the worst?
That we've seen live or just in general?
Just both.
Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler at WrestleMania 27.
Best match?
Yeah. Best match.
All right. Why?
Cool.
Explain why.
All right. Thank you, Alex.
Why?
Why? Because they haven't done anything else better. Well, actually, I take that back. CM Punk versus John Cena at a random Raw.
That was a very good match.
To face The Rock at WrestleMania 29.
A very underrated WrestleMania that everybody hates on.
People hate that match?
No, I mean the WrestleMania in general.
Oh, I thought the WrestleMania was fine.
It was fine. That was probably the best Raw match that I can think of this generation, at least.
What about John Cena versus who's Britney Spears' boyfriend at the time?
Kevin Federline.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably up there with worst matches ever. I think the more fun part of that question is what would be my favorite match that I have seen live.
Joey Janela versus Marco Stunt for this year's Spring Break.
Mine would be... It'd be between Ricochet and Ospreay in Dallas, because it's the first time I got to see that match live. Even though they overdid it like a million times after that night. I think that was the first time they actually wrestled. And then after that, they like redid the match like 20 times. And then they had one on New Japan, and the internet blew up about it. And I was like, dude, I just saw the match like a month ago in Dallas at Evolve.
So if you're looking at the ring, where was the ring from your seat?
So if they're... You guys can't see this on the podcast, but I'm going to act it out. So here's the ramp over here. And I was over here, like third row.
Gotcha. If the ring is right there, I'm right here.
So you're on the opposite side.
We were staring at each other.
We probably looked at each other at one time.
Yeah.
It would be between that, And man, that was Naito and Kota Ibushi was very good too.
Oh, that was very good.
That was one of the
Totally
best
forgot
matches
about
I've
that.
seen live. Atmosphere-wise, Kofi and Daniel Bryan was very good this year. And Daniel Bryan winning the title at WrestleMania 30 atmosphere-wise. Memorable moment-wise was probably Undertaker's streak ending because I've never heard...
Were you crying when that happened?
No, I just kept yelling, "Oh my God!" People in my section were crying and walking out.
Really?
Yeah. But I was just like, "Oh my God!" I looked just like Paul Heyman when he was shouting, "Oh my God!"
Yeah. I still think something was wrong with Taker when that happened.
Yeah, something was. I don't know if they say that's how it was supposed to end, but I don't think it was supposed to end like that. Something just seemed off with it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But overall, match-wise, I've seen it's probably between those two. I'd probably give the edge to Kota Ibushi and Naito, just because it was in Madison Square Garden, and that atmosphere was pretty electric for that. And the size of that crowd for that match, it was
a very electric crowd in the Madison Square Garden, owned by James Dolan and company.
Yeah, and it was cool to see Naito for the first time for me. And he showed up for a big show because sometimes I know when he does these shows in America, sometimes he lets his foot off the gas.
Oh, that's very true.
But he didn't that night.
No, he didn't.
Also, special honor to another match this year. Jeff Cobb and Ospreay was very good too.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that does it for this week. We're going to Atlantic City this weekend
for GC Dub. Probably gonna get bled on. Probably gonna breathe in light tubes and get mesothelioma. We'll probably be calling.
I thought that was from the stuff you put in your attics.
Well, probably the same thing. We'll be calling that thing that's always on the Something to Wrestle With podcast. Where they do the advertisement. If you suffer from mesothelioma,
if you or your loved one has gotten ball cancer on your forehead,
I guess next week, if anybody has any interest in it, might be reviewing our GCW experience.
Yeah, if Logan don't want to punch me in the face by then. All right, till next week. Good night, Canada.